Hey everyone, welcome back here to Weather on the Go, all your weather coverage. And my name is Hunter on this Friday, October the 10th, 2025. And in this forecast, we're going to be going through your short range, medium range, long range going in towards Halloween, and looking at your tropical weather update and what to expect from the tropics. So make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We did a little bit better yesterday on the likes. Still would love to get 1,000 likes on today's video, and also share it with a friend, family member, and on social media. I definitely appreciate that as well. So let's get into it here. It is a warmer than normal Friday across the central and northwestern United States, where we're a handful of degrees above normal. Coolest of our air is across portions of the East Coast from the Mid-Atlantic, especially down there towards the southeast. And you can see as we go into the weekend for Saturday, October 11th tomorrow, and then into Sunday, October 12th, notice we're going to start to see a southerly wind component come back across the plains, and that will raise our temperature anomalies back well above normal, and perhaps to 25 degrees above normal for what we should see on the 11th and 12th of October, especially from the Black Hills region of the Dakotas down here into central Nebraska and Kansas as well. So let's look here at our temperatures for your Friday afternoon. Coolest of our air again is along the eastern seaboard, where we're a handful of degrees below normal. 50s up here into the northeast. We'll transition to 60s in the mid-Atlantic, to 70s in the southeast here, and these 70s in the southeast are still below normal by far. 90s across portions of central and southern Texas, especially the further south you go into Texas. Couple 90s sprinkled in and around the Stillwater area, Oklahoma City, and Tulsa as we go into this afternoon as well. Moving the needle to tomorrow on Saturday, October 11th, much of the same, except we're going to be warming up into the 60s across the northeast on Saturday, and then going into Sunday, that southerly wind we talked about will raise our temperatures into the 70s and 80s further north toward areas of Lincoln, up there into along the I-80 corridor of Omaha and Des Moines. We're going to start to see more of those 80s start to come back for Sunday. Low temperature is going to be a little bit chilly starting off your weekend on Saturday, October 11th, into the 30s here, with potentially a frost or freeze risk across areas of the northeast. That highest risk would be for Maine or the Arrowhead of Minnesota. Now, as we go into Sunday morning, notice we're going to really start to warm up those low temperatures, even record warm lows across Nebraska and into Kansas, where we could be in the mid 60s starting off your Sunday. And then starting off early next week, a front will come through and bring potentially more frost freeze risks to the northern plains like the Dakotas, with more of a warmer air mass across areas of the Mississippi Valley, with those 50s and low 60s starting off early next week. And as far as thunderstorms are concerned here over the next 3 days, for today, thunderstorms may be possible along a weak front across portions of Lake Michigan, down there into the Ozarks of Missouri. Stronger thunderstorms may be possible in and around the Vegas region into northwestern Arizona today. And then as we go into the day on Saturday, strong storms from Salt Lake City down there as far south as northern Arizona. We'll be keeping a close eye on that, mainly though for gusty winds and hail. The tornado threat should stay low. Then as we go into Sunday, October 12th, we're going to see the thunderstorm risk with at least a general garden variety storms, heavier rain, maybe some pea-size hail, some 30-40 mile-an-hour wind gusts may be possible across the central plains going into Sunday. Like we always do, let's start off here in the east. We'll go to the central view second, and then the western U.S. view third. Here on your Friday, we're going to see a mix of sun and clouds across the northeast. A lot more cloud cover, though, for the Carolinas and Virginia for today, and those clouds will thicken and lower, and then that will give way to some rain shower activity and some thunderstorms across the Outer Banks, even the eastern Carolinas as we go into the day on Saturday. Some of that rainfall will move into the central Carolinas as well. I don't think it quite makes it to Asheville in western North Carolina or into eastern Tennessee, but I think it'll be a rainy day from Norfolk down there toward Wilmington, Myrtle Beach, Columbia, and even into Charleston, South Carolina. As we go through the day there on Saturday, cloud cover will thicken and lower across the northeast through the day on Saturday as well, giving way to some scattered showers. So we're talking about New York State, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland. Those areas could potentially see some showers heading into late Saturday night and early in the day on Sunday. Clearing, though, across the west. You notice on Saturday, lots of cloud cover clearing off from the Ohio Valley down there toward the Dixie Alley region. So Memphis, up there to Paducah, even into Indianapolis, should see some mostly mostly sunny skies heading through the day on Saturday. Central United States here, we got a weak front moving through with a couple of showers. Chicagoland down to Peoria and St. Louis, down into the Branson, Missouri area near the Ozarks. We could potentially be seeing a couple of weak showers, and then as we go through the day, we're going to see those clouds start to peel away. At least some peaks of sun will be possible. More cloud cover will be overspreading portions of the Rockies and then into the plains. That's where we're going to start to see more tropical moisture from the East Pacific moving up into the plains there, and it looks to be a mainly cloudy afternoon as we go into Saturday across the plains. A few peaks of sun the further south you go into Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, but I think we could also squeeze out some rainfall and some light rainfall from Minnesota back there into South Dakota, Nebraska, and Colorado as we go through the day there on Saturday. Now let's look at the western U.S. Lots of moisture out here. We have a trough coming in across the west coast, also tropical feedback from the East Pacific moving northward as well. This could be bringing us some heavier rainfall for portions of the Four Corners region. So Utah, Arizona, especially into western Colorado, into New Mexico, and a lot of the west out here, even Nevada and California starting to see some of that as well. And in the higher elevations, especially Saturday night into Sunday, could be seeing some snowfall, and those could be those bigger snowflakes as those wet snowflakes start to pile up there in those higher elevations. Now looking at the rainfall taking you through 7 a.m. on Monday, October 13th, driest of our areas will be from Dallas up here toward Indianapolis and everywhere in between, including Little Rock, Memphis, and Nashville. Should stay dry through the weekend. Heaviest rains we're going to be watching from northeastern Florida near Jacksonville up through coastal Georgia here, and towards Savannah, Georgia, the eastern Carolinas, so Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Wilmington, the Outer Banks, Norfolk there. We could potentially be seeing a couple of inches of rain, and then a lot of tropical moisture from the East Pacific moving through northwestern Mexico up here into the Four Corners region, and that could give us a flooding risk at times as we head through the weekend for areas near Phoenix, Flagstaff, Tucson, up there towards Salt Lake City and west of Denver, keeping an eye on that. And then, of course, more moisture with the trough coming in across the west coast, impinging on the Cascades and the northern Rockies like Idaho and Montana heading through the weekend as well. Snowfall opportunities are there with some wet snowflakes across the Cascades and the Pacific Northwest, even into the northern Rockies of Montana, Idaho, and western Wyoming. Could be seeing a few inches of snow on the higher elevations piling up for the weekend. Now, the blizzard risk we talked about for Saskatchewan and Manitoba, looks like the models have backed off on that, so that's some great news. Doesn't look like we're going to have our first blizzard of the year, but there could be some snowfall at times, even some snow flakes across the southern Canadian prairies of Alberta, Saskatchewan, into central Manitoba as we head through the weekend as well. Windy conditions will still be there, so even though we may not have a blizzard, we could be seeing some breezy conditions here this weekend for the northern plains, back down here into the Rockies. Lighter winds for the Mississippi Valley here, so areas near Memphis, going to see some pretty light winds as we head through the weekend. Now, going into next week, Monday, October 13th through Saturday, October 18th, big trough coming in across the west coast, and in particular, the Sacramento Valley in central California, raising heights, which means a ridge of high pressure building in across the south central United States. That will promote warmer than normal temperatures heading into mid-October. This is for areas of North Texas all the way up to northern Illinois. Could be seeing temperatures a good 10, 20 degrees above normal for the mid-October standards. And then with that bigger trough coming in, obviously we got more cloud cover and precipitation. That will in turn, limit our temperatures below normal of a good 20, 30 degrees below normal for California, including portions of Southern California going in towards next week. Rainfall opportunities will be there with that trough. In fact, well above normal as rainfall is expected for the Sacramento Valley and into Southern California, the Four Corners region as well, and into parts of the Western Plains heading through next week. Again, between Monday, October 13th and Friday, October 17th, drier trends the further east you go and the further south you go toward the Gulf Coast going through next week. Now let's look here at the individual deterministic European model. You can see there is some pretty heavy moisture starting to show up there. Again, for California, could be seeing a couple of inches. That could start to move inland toward the Rockies like we mentioned, and then you can see the drier weather across the southeast. The GFS model is very much in tune, although it does have a lot more rainfall up there in North Dakota, eastern Montana and Minnesota heading through the week. So there's a little bit of uncertainty there, but nonetheless, you get the idea. Wetter west, a little bit drier east and southeast. Now, as we look here towards Halloween, it's not a clear-cut picture just yet. It's still a couple weeks away, so take this a little bit with a grain of salt. But a recurving typhoon Halong in the West Pacific east of Tokyo is actually going to move toward the Aleutian Islands as we head towards next week, and that could be bringing us potentially a hint of a cold front and a stronger one as we get towards late October. You can see the European extended ensemble guidance is showing that, whereas the GFS extended ensemble is completely the opposite. It continues to remain warm across the east with the cold front more so into the western U.S. So the positioning, the intensity, the actual evolution of this pattern in late October is a little bit murky right now. We'll keep you updated as we do get closer. Looking here at least with the precipitation in that time frame before we're done talking about it here, the European model with the cold front could bring quite a bit of moisture for the Pacific Northwest and then through the Midwest and Ohio Valley with drier trends near the Gulf Coast further south, whereas the GFS ensemble basically shows everybody getting rain. I don't believe this. I think there will be some drier areas here down further to the south where we have been seeing them. I think the drought feedback will definitely have a big player in what happens as well in late October. Now let's look here at the Atlantic. We have a couple things going on, and you can blink, you miss it. You have Tropical Storm Karen up here that has formed, but we also have Tropical Storm Jerry right near the northern Leeward Islands, and you can see here both of these systems are very far apart from each other. Karen is moving away. That's going to weaken, and also Jerry will be moving away well east of Bermuda out to sea. This is a fish storm, and there is going to be a continuing northward trend with Jerry through the weekend before it takes that hard right turn as we go into Sunday night into Monday, but nonetheless, it is not going to be impacting the United States in any way, shape, or form, and barely really impacting Bermuda outside of some rough surf and rip current risks as well. So be keeping an eye on that. But the Pacific side, we have Priscilla that is just hugging the Baja of California, and Raymond, which is a tropical storm, which was our tropical depression 17E, yesterday's video that has formed near the Mexico coast. So looking here at Priscilla, this is a weakening tropical storm moving in toward land. Again, tropical systems don't like A, cooler water, and B, land. So it's going to be weakening. Right now, maximum sustained winds of 45 miles an hour, northward movement at 5 miles per hour. We look at Raymond, though, it's going to be paralleling here the coast of Mexico. We actually have tropical storm warnings up for west coast of Mexico. And then the southern Baja of California, we have tropical storm watches up, as this is likely to be a stronger tropical storm, potentially even a low chance at a hurricane, but I think this remains a strong tropical storm heading through the weekend. Right now, maximum sustained winds 60 miles per hour, moving northwest at 15 miles per hour. So we put this together here, and you can see both of these systems across portions of the East Pacific. You have Priscilla up here weakening, and you have a lot of upward motion with convection here paralleling the coast of Mexico, where we have some warmer water in contrast to Priscilla. Raymond is down here further to the south. So you can see these systems will work in tandem, bringing much needed moisture to California, to the desert Southwest as we head through the weekend and much of next week. In fact, you can see the moisture feedback here. Those blues and purples that you see in the Southern California, Southern Nevada, the Four Corners regions, even at times getting in towards the plains and Midwest, that is well above normal precipitable water anomalies of around 200, 300, even 400% at times. So that will be squeezing out some heavy moisture. Once we get into late October, a cold front or two could scour out a lot of that tropical moisture from west to east and actually could drive a couple of stronger storm systems across the central and eastern U.S. That will be something we'll watch as we get closer to the holiday of Halloween. Well, thank you all for watching. I definitely appreciate y'all being here. If you are here, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We're going to be doing weather forecast videos for the days to come. May not have a video tomorrow, but we'll be back likely on Sunday, so make sure to turn on all post notifications so you get all my videos, all my live streams that we do here on the channel. Obviously, share the video with as many people, with friends, family, anybody that you know. And of course, let's get those likes up. We struggling to reach 1,000 likes. Let's try to get 1,000 likes here on this video. Thank you all for watching, folks. Thanks for the support, and have a wonderful and safe rest of your Friday out there.